Perhaps you've tried vibe coding and you really tried to build your own apps or build your own website through platforms like Lovable and eventually realized that it's hard, mainly because we need backend functions through Superbase or API keys through Claude or OpenAI. So because of this, it really made things more complicated for the non-technical user to really go out of their way to create these websites. And eventually all you'd feel is frustration. But recently, and I mean just yesterday, Lovable just made one of the biggest updates this year. Let's talk about it, and let me show you what it can do. So Lovable has just released Lovable Cloud and AI. Now, this is a huge update. One, because now we have Lovable Cloud. So now we no longer need to go to huge trouble to connect Superbase or connect any other backend where you really need to sort out your functions and everything. Now, what it can do is Lovable itself will save data and files, manage users, and connect safely with our services. In other words, allows payment providers and everything. Now, you can have Lovable itself be the backend. Now, this is a huge opportunity for those in the AI space, because if you've really tried to build something with Superbase, it's a really big learning curve, especially with edge functions and everything. So we also know that by the time you're watching this, we have a full week of Lovable AI free. I suggest use it. Take this time to really have fun with it. Go about it, see what's possible, you know? And now we come to Lovable AI. So now we no longer need to add API keys or go through OpenAI, go to buy an API key, sort out credits, all these technicalities. Now we just have it all built in to Lovable. So now just by prompting, we can have AI integrated into the app itself. Now, as we can see here, they'll handle the AI complexity and you can just get built and running just by prompting. No managing API keys or manual setup. And it looks like the two options you have are Google Gemini and OpenAI. So based on that, I'll say if you want to use something like Claude, you probably need to still add in the API key. Maybe they'll add it in the future, maybe they won't, I don't know. But seems that it's based on usage-based pricing. So that's a huge plus. That's a huge plus. Anyway, that's enough with the explanation. As you can see, there's a big opportunity. Let's actually get to testing it out. Now I wanted to challenge myself. And I wanted to see how far we can get with one simple prompt, because I wanted to put myself in the shoes. In this case, it was shoes of a person who hasn't really used this platform. And we can see, therefore, whether it's easier for them or not, it's just still going to have errors that you need to sort out for yourself, or you still need a little bit of a technical one or background in a sense. So I have a Google Doc here with a simple prompt preview. It's really what we're going to be building is a social media content planner app where you just put in your business niche and a brand tone, and it'll output 7 days of content, being LinkedIn posts, Instagram captions, and TikTok video script ideas. Now, each day should have all three formats. Now, obviously, I have a few things like, okay, what can I have in a database, design, constraints, and bonuses. And I also have a few things in paragraph format over here. So what we're going to do is simply, we're going to copy that, we're going to come back into Lovable, and then we're just going to paste that in. And so I'm going to leave it here, and I'll let you guys know in the end. Okay, so it is done. It just finished right now, so let me just explain something, right? So obviously we were last caught up. I put in the prompt, and then this is what happened. So obviously, as we know, or if you haven't done before, you'd know, I'd give you like a summary
all of what you're building. And then, but this time it says it gave you an option to enable chart. So after I had to press approve or allow, it then sent itself this message saying approved action. It then gave this enable the AI pop up, but this time it auto approved itself again and created its own database function. You can see here, created its own policies and so on and so forth. So after that,
it really just finished. And so if we just read here, it says for AI power generation, it uses Lovable's built-in AI, which seems to be Google Gemini, to create 7 days of content. Ah, I see. That's information I did not know. So, or maybe I suspected, but it need confirmation, is that it seems like the AI will use Google Gemini. It's not bad, I guess. An LLM is an LLM, I guess. For the specific, yeah, that's a very bad thing to say, but for a lot of people, it doesn't really make a difference. But for me, I prefer Claude personally, or Grok over Gemini, depending on the purpose. For, So anyway, moving on. Platform-specific posts. LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok are how weekly can review inline editing, approval workflow, database storage, all posts saved to cloud backend, do some. Okay, cool. Okay, now if it says here reclaimed cloud docs, what happened if we press that in? Seems like it takes us to a nice little document here. And we can then, okay. Cool. You can read that in your time. So if I press manage here, it then takes us to what seemed to be our database view. So we can see our databases, which is our posts over here, viewing table posts. If it would just load, seems like it's not gonna know. Now that it's loaded. So it has populated its own columns or fields. We have ID, date, platform, text, tone, niche, status. Okay. Everything seems to be good, has its own edge functions. You generate content. Nothing there though. Secret keys, so I guess this is where we would add API chains, such as if you wanted to add Claude into it instead of its default Gemini, then you'll be able to do that. Over here, you just be able to say add another, and then secret key name, and then you're putting that to say saved, and I'm sure it'll then pop on this side. Anyway, so then as we can see here, currently it's already put in its default Lovable API key property for Gemini itself. And then obviously we then also have some users authentication if you want to be. Okay, so clearly it looks good. Let's test it out. So I prefer to test it out in a new tab, just to have that view. So we now have a social media content planner. So business niche, let's pick one out. AI, why can I not spell? Automation, there we go. Brand tone, professional with a hint and comedy. From generating content, let's see if we have any errors that might pop up. Seems to be taking a minute. Really is taking its time. There we are. Whoa. That's a lot, but okay. So it has given us what we need. We have the option to approve and publish. So I'm sure if you do, say, want to give it the functionality to publish to any of your LinkedIn
core files or anything like that. You put in the API key like I showed you, come to cloud, save it, add it in. Or we could even ask it potentially in chat mode as well.
But so far, it looks
awesome actually. So we have a LinkedIn post, Good Morning Automation Aficionados. I feel like the business is running out of house, don't will generate more sweet than random new year alone. Many organizational nails. That's a long piece of text. AI automation, okay, cool. So then here we have the Instagram caption, Monday morning vibes, very task feeling a bit prehistoric. It's time to evolve. AI automation isn't just the bird rider taking over. TikTok scripts.
Why is it TikTok script shorter? Alright, point is, it works. It's simple, but it works. I wonder what happens if I press approve and publish though.
Post updated. What just happened? Anyway, weekly content theme summary. This is content explores the transformation power of automation, balancing operational insights with a hint of humor.
I mean, honestly, for the fact that they all of this in one prompt is actually amazing. And anyways, it's about it for today. As you can see, you can really build fully
functioning apps actually through Lovable right now. Everything from front end to back end, user authentication to
AI implementation, handle all by Lovable right now. It's a big update. And I encourage you to all go out, have some fun. And yeah, that's about it for today. It was a really short one because I started recording late, but to each their grind, you know? Have a great night.